in 2014, my daughter, she was a year and a half at that time, she was also diagnosed with blood cancer.
Hey guys, it's Donnie here, and I just want to let you know that we've recently launched a content development company, and this company helps people get social content. You know you need to put out a lot of content nowadays to get engagement out there in all your social platforms. But we've come up with a really cool way to help you get videos, blog posts, memes, social posters, and infographics for whatever social site you need. So check us out at successchamps.us and learn more about how you can get social content for your social media.
Support for this podcast comes from Point Blank Safety Services and Blue Family Fund. Point Blank Safety Services does safety differently. We know everyone is on a journey, and we want to make sure you get where you're going safely. Professional, trained, ready. There's really no comparison. Here's why hiring Point Blank Safety for your next project will make all the difference and save you huge amounts of stress and hassle. Point Blank Safety Services provides certified, uniformed police officers for a full suite of armed guard services. Don't leave the safety of your project to chance. If you're ready to make sure safety truly comes first for your next project, then visit us at pointblanksafety.com.
You're listening to Donnie's Success Champions, where I believe everybody is on a journey. Life is all about the stories you can tell and teach later. You're going to hear the stories of people who have overcome hardships, failures in life to find success along their journey. Hey guys, it's going to be a cool episode. I'm bringing in Ali Baig, and we are going to talk about his 20 years in the Pakistan Army and then, his life after that, some of the tragedies that went through dealing with cancer, and his mission to become that leadership motivational guy in front of the room. It's a really, really cool journey. Enjoy this one. All right, guys, going to be another episode. I'm your host, Donnie Boivin, and this is going to be a fun one. I'm going across the pond again, you guys. We're bringing in Ali Baig, and what I hear, he's got a pretty good story, so I'm looking forward to this one. So, Ali, welcome to the show, my friend. Please jump in here and tell us your story.
Yeah, thank you, Donnie. It's great to be on your show. I'm a regular listener of your podcast, and all of them are really inspiring.
Oh, well, thanks for that, man.
Yeah, just to introduce myself, my name is Ali Baig. You have already mentioned that. I'm from Pakistan. So Pakistan, I don't know if most of the people would know about this country. It's a country located in South Asia, and we are the neighbor of India, and we are very famous in cricket, and we are the seventh.
Wait, cricket, that's where they take that wooden paddle thing and they hit that ball thing, right?
Exactly. It's the altered version of baseball.
I've seen it. I have no idea how it's played, but I've definitely seen it. So.
Yeah, and it's the sixth biggest country in the world population-wise, and we are the seventh country to hold the nuclear powers. That's just about our country. So, about myself, I'm a military officer. I've served in military in Pakistan Army. I was in Pakistan Army for about 20 good years, and I have recently taken retirement from Army. And the thing which was the main reason for my retirement was that last year in February 2017, I was just going through my regular medical tests, my blood tests, and my doctor called me and told me that your blood tests, your white blood cells in your blood, they are not showing a good number. I said, okay, let's go through them again. So after a couple of weeks, we had another test. I gave my sample, and it was the same thing. My white blood cells were pretty high. And then he said, maybe, okay, you are running through an infection, come after a month. So after a month, I came, gave my sample, and again, the thing were not good. So he immediately sent me to an oncologist. So I was sent to the oncologist, and the oncologist, I had my bone marrow aspiration, and it was diagnosed that I was suffering from CLL. It's chronic lymphocytic leukemia, or blood cancer.
Wow. Okay, I didn't catch all those words in there beforehand, but I heard the one that matters. It's blood cancer and leukemia. How scary is that? So you go for 20 years serving in the military.
Yeah.
What did you do in the military?
I was in engineers, Corps of Engineers, so I was basically...
Oh, Corps of Engineers. Okay. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you built bridges and stuff.
We build bridges and we clear landmines. In 2002, going back in time, in 2002 there was tension between the borders of India and Pakistan. So it was during that time we laid minefield on our side of the ground. Same things happened with the India. They also laid minefield. But after a year or so of this tension, we didn't cross the border. There was no war. So after a year escalation, it was called off and we were told to return. So most of the army, they returned back home, but we, the engineers, we have to clear all the minefields because it was in the civilian area. And people over there, they have to do their agriculture and they have to breed their...
Right. So who gets to draw the short straw to go out in the field and pull up the damn landmines? I mean, that's just not a fun job by any means. I'm sure you had some sort of equipment and stuff, but it wasn't like, hey, Ali, go grab that mine out of the field anywhere, right? I mean, there had to be.
No, it's a very difficult job. And, it's SOP. It's like in the Geneva Convention that once you are laying a minefield, you have to mark them. First thing you have to mark the minefield, that it's a minefield so that no civilian should enter that. And once you are leaving that area, you have to clear that. That's an obligation to our people also, and internationally, obviously, as a human, you have to clear that. So we did that. We used special equipment for that. We had some casualties also, like few of the officers, they died. Some people lost their limbs, hand or feet, or there was a couple of instances when a car, it ran over a minefield. Yeah. So these incidences, they all happen in the military life. It's all part of it. So luckily, I escaped that and I came back. It was, we cleared almost a 60-kilometer area along the border, and it took us almost 10 months.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's not an easy job. No. Every day you are going, yeah.
Now, just because I don't know, in Pakistan, do you guys automatically get inducted into the military at 18?
No.
So it's choice. Okay.
It's your choice. And the thing is that military over here is one of the topmost sorted out career. And like every 6 months we have an induction for the military officers, and people come in thousands to get inducted, but only a couple of hundred people are inducted.
Now, do you guys have to do like we do in the U.S.? Do you have to have a college degree and all that to go through the officers, school and all that, or?
Yes, exactly. It's the same as U.S. Army, and
okay.
You have to have certain grades in your college. So below that, you are not qualified. Your age, and obviously you should be in your age limit, height, and medical. We all go through the same test. But the main difference between the U.S. Army and Pakistan Army is that over there in USA, you have to be they are mostly on contract basis. It lasts from 5 years to 8 years. Since I've been with U.S. Army officers, so I know their procedures. But in our Army, once you are inducted in military as an officer, so you have to serve at least 20 years, 23 years.
Oh, wow. They're making an investment in you guys, in training and everything else. They want to keep you around as long as possible. It's interesting.
Exactly, yeah. So I took early retirement, and one of the basic reason for that was that I was diagnosed with cancer last year.
Right.
And although if I remained in military, things would have been very easy for me. They just gave me some sedentary jobs, and I would be posted mostly in major cities, big cities here in Pakistan. So plus point for me. But I thought that no, just leave this thing and let's explore the world more and see what's all out there. Donnie, the sad part is that in 2014, my daughter, she was a year and a half at that time. She was also diagnosed with blood cancer, and she fought hard with it. And after a year and a half, unfortunately, her cancer relapsed, and she died because of it in 2000.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was a very tough thing for us.
Is blood cancer, that style of leukemia, is that hereditary in families?
No, no, it's not nothing like that. So my daughter was the first one in our whole family, from my side or from my wife's side, and I'm second case. But cancer these days, it's spreading so much that you don't know what is the reason you are getting it.
Yeah.
So through this podcast, and since you have a very large listeners, I would like to insist this thing to your listeners that once in a year, you should all go through the medical checkup. We take this very serious. We don't take this thing seriously. The thing is that you have to get your medical checkup, complete medical checkup, including your blood test and including your. Excuse me, I got emotional whenever I talk about my daughter.
No, I get it. You're good.
Yeah. So everyone in our family, or anyone who's listening to this, their family, they should be like going through the medical test. I tell this to every person which I meet, that it's very necessary. Cancer is spreading it's just becoming a normal thing. Like you often hear about people in your family or far relatives that someone is having a cancer, he's diagnosed with cancer. It's pretty common these days. So one thing is that you get yourself checked every month, every year. And second thing is that your dietary habits. You should be not eating junk food at all. I've been to USA a couple of times. My family's over there in USA. The good thing about USA is that there are these restaurants everywhere. Every other block you go, there is a fast food restaurant over there.
Yep, we never have to worry about finding something to eat. Now, finding something good to eat is a whole different ball of wax,
Exactly. Yeah, the same thing is here in Pakistan, yeah. But, the same thing is, this thing is happening in USA also, that it's the most obese country in the world, USA, just because of these things, these fast food. So, I don't say that stop eating this, but what I would suggest is that we should check what we are eating or our children are eating. So it's a good thing that we control what we eat. It would be benefiting for us. We would live longer and we would live a healthier life for that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I've had some really, really close family friends pass away from leukemia. And particularly, for one of my best friend's brothers, we used to drive 6 hours south to go down to give blood at a blood bank to help replenish his supply so they could get better blood into his system. And leukemia is nasty. It's a horrible, horrible disease. So are you in remission with it now, or are you still battling with leukemia?
No, I'm still battling. I'm in wait and watch category. It's the category where you don't need any chemotherapy. I don't need any chemotherapy at the moment. So after the death of my daughter, me and my wife, obviously it was very tough for us as a family. But I'm lucky to have a wife with such strong nerves. We also have an elder daughter. She's 10 years old now. And by the blessing of Allah, we were given another daughter.
Congrats.
A couple of years later, yeah. So after death of my second daughter, we had a similar daughter. Like she's just so much similar in many things, like her hairstyle and her features, everything is same. But yes, so after the death of my daughter, we founded an NGO where we are working for the patients, especially the children who are cancer patients.
And what is an
here in
NGO, just so I make sure I understand it right? What's an NGO?
Non-government organization.
So it's like a nonprofit in U.S.
Non-profit, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
It's a non-profit organization.
All right.
So we made that, and my wife is an active member of that. She's working on it. And what we do, we realized this once we had to go to hospital with our daughter for her chemotherapy, that there are so many children, people are coming from, since Pakistan is not that much developed, so we have very few cancer hospitals over here. So people were coming from different, very far places. Obviously, if a child has this, so the parents, they have to bring them along, and it's never easy for the parent because they have to find somewhere to live. They have to stay there, pay the expenses of the children. So at that time, we realized that there are many people whom we can help. And me and my wife, we started this small organization, and we tried to help kids. But then in between, there was a time that we just didn't, after the birth of our daughter, the third daughter, we couldn't give proper time to it. But once my cancer was diagnosed, so we went back to it. Now we are working for the children, and my main aim here is that I should spread cancer awareness, and I should talk to different people and spread this message to live a healthy life. I am myself living very healthy life. I am eating healthy, and I am not eating junk food. Sometimes, yes, I do take, but it's very little and it's very in small quantities. So that's the main thing. And
Nice.
the other thing with the reason for which I've left the military was that I wanted to explore the world. Obviously, by the nature of my job, I had the opportunity to travel all around the world, but I also wanted to explore more of the world. So this is what my plans are for now. And another passion of mine was being a motivational speaker. So this is what I'm pursuing. There's an organization here in Pakistan. It's mostly present in most of the countries. I don't think so. It's in USA. It's SOS Village. They basically get the childs who are homeless children without parents. So those are in the SOS villages, and they train them until they get a job. They stay there. They get education over there. In that SOS village, I am a regular visitor. I am a volunteer over there. I'm working over them. Yeah, and then I'm going to different universities here in Pakistan, delivering lectures about leadership or entrepreneurship and all these stuff. So these are different things which I'm doing at the same time.
That's awesome. So tell me a little bit about your nonprofit or your NGO. What are you doing for these children? Are you guys giving them places to stay? Are you helping with accommodations and food? What are you guys doing with the families and their children?
Basically, we are helping them with the accommodation over here, because the basic thing, once you are in different cities, that where are you going to live? People who are coming from the remote areas, they are not rich enough to afford hotels over here or guest rooms over here. So what we do is that we have had contract with few building owners who give them places to live, and in return we pay them some amount. So in that way we can accommodate those children as well and their parents as well.
So you guys have actually been able to go in with some of these building owners that have rooms or whatnot, negotiate at a lower price, I'm assuming, on behalf of these patients and their family members, so they can get the treatments and everything they need.
Exactly, yes, okay. Exactly. Yeah.
So that's awesome. That's awesome. And what is the name of that organization?
The name it's on my daughter's name. It's called Amal Cancer Organization, Amal Cancer Foundation.
We'll make sure to put that in the show notes so people can find it, and if they want to donate to it or learn more about it, they can. So that's awesome. We have a very similar organization in my hometown in Fort Worth, Texas, that's called Cancer Care Services, and they do a lot of very similar things. They provide a lot of transportation, food supplements, and it's for the patients and the caregivers, because a lot of people forget that when somebody's going through cancer, it's not just the patient that's dealing with it. The whole family's in, and you got to provide services for everybody. So, well done, brother. I'm really pleased to hear that you're doing that with that organization. And now, because of your military experience and because of the things you've been through, you're actually traveling around and working in certain areas that need either, whether it's universities from leadership training and things like that, but you're actually going into, I assume it's kind of like the inner cities in the U.S., where people maybe are not getting the help and support they need, and you're going in there and volunteering your work. Is that what I heard right?
Yeah, exactly. That's you can summarize that. You have summarized it in perfect words. That's what I'm doing.
You would think I had a podcast and did this for a living.
Yeah. It's totally understandable.
What made you decide to go in and start doing that volunteering work? Because that's a really, really cool thing. People do it, but not enough, right? Go in and actually help in those type of areas. What made you decide to jump in there?
Oh, basically, there are different areas in which I do my volunteering. One is the leadership training. Since I have done my master's and my thesis was also on leadership, so leadership is my another core thing which I do. Plus 20 years experience of the military, it also give me an edge of this. I have seen different kinds of leadership. So one thing is the leadership, and the second thing is the entrepreneurship. And Pakistan is an emerging country in the world. And due to this, a lot of youngsters in our country, they are trying to become an entrepreneur. And myself, I am an entrepreneur. I have started 3-4 startups, and I have sold 2 of them in profit. One of them didn't go well, and one was
the life of an entrepreneur, though.
That's it. It's through the experience by which you learn, and I think the graph line is never straight in your life. It's always going up and down. Once you are an entrepreneur, once it's going down, it's a deep down type, and then you have to move up slowly. So it's very common. So what happens with our people is that they get disheartened if they get a setback on something, and my aim is that I just want to tell them that this is nothing to be disheartened. You just have to stand up and clean your clothes and start moving again. Right. So this is the main reason, and plus along with that, I'm working with few of the government agencies through which we are spreading the cancer awareness over here, and the same message which I have given you about these things, I also tell to all my audience over here.
So you're not only speaking on leadership, you're speaking on entrepreneurship, and you're also raising awareness for cancer. That's a lot of platforms to be speaking on, and a lot of messages to get out there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing. But it depends upon the forum, which forum you are going there. So, but these are my 3 niche which I'm working on. And
right. And then add on top, you want to be a motivational speaker. You're just going to try and go for the whole enchilada and speak anywhere you can get in front of. That's awesome. That's awesome. What type of things do you speak about when you're on stage from a leadership perspective? What are you teaching people?
Yeah, basically, thesis was on transformational leadership. So if we go according to the John Maxwell theory, John Maxwell, he's a very famous guy. We have 5 stages of leadership. 5th stage you can never reach, according to him, or very few people could reach. So maximum you could reach as a normal person is the 4th stage. And what the 4th stage teaches us is that being a leader, you are not the only person who is in charge. You have to prepare people under your command or your colleagues or your subordinates to develop their personalities, to develop their attitudes, and to be able to stand at your position one day. So what you are doing is that you are teaching them, you are guiding them, and you are guiding in such a way that you are not giving them orders. You are genuinely you are teaching them to be at your place. And it requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of stamina. Your people, they would be making mistakes most of the time. You have to bear with that. You have to be patient with that. So those are some basic traits which you could inculcate in yourself to be a good leader, to develop a young lot of leadership.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, over in Pakistan, you have the similar universities. You know, there are a lot of similarities with what you guys are doing as an emerging country coming forward. Do you find that a lot of people, like here in the U.S., are reaching out for additional leadership training and the like? Because, you know, over here, you can throw a quarter and hit a conference of some sort, whether it's leadership, motivational, sales training, whatever else. Is it very similar to what you guys are doing, find over in Pakistan?
Yeah, almost the same thing. But one thing I like about the USA is that over there in USA, since I have been interacting with many people in USA on this leadership who are already doing this stuff, I can see that there is a coach or a mentor for you in every niche of your life there in USA. So people are doing there as a profession over there, then they have left all their job and start doing this as a profession.
Yeah.
And besides those coaches or mentors, there are people, the normal people, who understand that for a certain problem, they need to go to a coach. And they know that, okay, I'm facing this problem in my business. I'm not getting leads. I'm not getting enough hits on my website, on my page, something like that. So I need to go see a coach. I need to find someone who could help me in that. This thing is lacking here in Pakistan. So it's an emerging market. So people over here, they don't realize the importance of a coach or a mentor. Everything by themselves.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys were where the U.S. was about 10, 20 years ago when if you said the word coach, people looked at you like you had two heads, right? You know, they just didn't understand why anybody needed a coach. And nowadays, I mean, hell, I have 3 coaches, you know, for my businesses for different aspects because, you know, I'm just a firm believer if you're not working on yourself, then you're not working. So you've got to learn something. Sounds like you might have an entrepreneurship opportunity in front of you to become the guy that teaches, you know, the Pakistan world that this is why you need a coach. This is why you need to go to leadership trainings. You know, how do you become that guy?
Well, it's still a challenge over here because right now the trainings is only limited to the corporate sector. So only the corporate sectors, the multinational companies, they understand the importance of leadership and they hire people for training of their staff. But again, that's the problem that they are only doing contracts with limited companies. So and as an individual, if you are trying to inspire people, so there are a couple of guys here in Pakistan who are doing really good as an individual. But again, they also had a big struggle behind their backs. So if you want to be a coach like Anthony or something like Grant Cardone, so you need to struggle a lot. And because I remember I read a lot about these guys. So they say that they started about 30 years ago, and at that time it was the same what you are saying, that if you introduce yourself as a coach, people would be like laughing at you and saying, why do we need a coach? So you just see where they stand right now. It's totally amazing how they have leapfrogged in their career. The same thing is happening in Pakistan. It's an emerging market for this.
Yeah. You know, and you know what I find is there's 2 types of people. There's the people that say they want to do it, and then there's people that actually go through it, keep punching through, keep fighting, and become it because they realize that's where they want to be on their journey in life. Being a coach, being a speaker is not an easy thing, but if you're willing to put in the time, the effort, and don't worry about getting slapped in the face a couple times by life, then, you know, tenacity will win eventually.
Yes, exactly. I totally agree with you. Nothing could better explain. It's the same thing with the entrepreneur. So you have to be consistent. You have to be persistent in what you are doing, and you should be knowing what your future goals are. You know, funny thing is that since I'm in touch with a lot of people, so I got a guy. He was from USA, and I was very active in a group, and he said that, okay, I want to have a session with you. So I had a session with him, couple of sessions with him without any charges. So ultimately, he became one of my clients. I don't do this professionally right now, but I already have a client there in USA.
Well, that's how a lot of guys get their start.
Yeah.
is you're figuring it out on the fly, and I don't care where you are. There is value in information. There's value in learning from somebody who's already carved the path and letting them take you through the steps of what you've done and accomplished in your life. So good on you. Where do you think all this is going to take you, Ali? Are you going to travel around the world and be this guy that's leading and motivating crowds? Are you going to be the face of the cancer world, leukemia world, raising awareness for that? Where do you see this all taking you?
No, I think I would go with the first one because I love to travel, and I think that I would be traveling around the world and giving this information to, once you speak to people, you share your story with them. So once you are sharing about a certain topic on leadership or entrepreneurship, then obviously I'll be sometimes sharing my story behind this, my backstory from what's the reason why I jumped into this profession. So yeah, I see myself from 5 years from right now, I see myself traveling all over the world and delivering these speeches like Gary Vee. He's an inspirational guy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Ali, I got to tell you, brother, it's been fun hearing your story, and it's been fun to learn a lot about Pakistan because I learned a heck of a lot more than I knew about your country. So thank you for that. How do people get in touch with you? I mean, so if they want to reach out and learn more about what you do, how do people reach out to you?
Mostly it's through Facebook. I have a Facebook page. People could send me friend requests or send me messages, and then I have an Instagram page. I'll share that with you later. Mostly these are the two mediums that people reach out to me. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, brother, here's how I like to wrap it all up. If you could leave my audience with a quote, a phrase, a saying, a motto, a mantra, something they can take with them on their journey, especially if they're stacked up against it as they continue to go through it. What would be that quote or motto you would say? Remember this.
There are a couple of things which I always hear. Don't part with your illusions. When they are gone, you may still exist, but you have ceased to live. So basically, every achievement which is formed, it's formed twice. Once it's in your head, it's in your mind, and then it becomes a reality. So my message to everyone would be that don't just end your passion with different excuses. You have to move on, get on your feet, and you have to work on that. These illusions would one day be a reality, and you can really, what's the right word to use? Are you there?
Yeah. There you are. So, no, that's awesome, brother. I love it, the let go of your illusions. That's pretty powerful. So well done. Ali, brother, thanks for coming on the show, man. Thanks for sharing your story. Thanks for what you're doing for the cancer patients in Pakistan, the families in Pakistan. I look forward to someday sharing the stage with you as we're lighting the world up and teaching things we learned on our journeys, man. So thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Donnie. It's wonderful being on your show, and I would love to be sharing my stage with you. And one day, probably once I'll come to USA, I'll come and meet you in person.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you are always welcome to come to Pakistan. People in Pakistan are very hospitable.
I love that. Thanks, brother. Thanks for listening to Donnie Success Champions podcast. If you'd like to hear more about our current guest today, or if you'd like to hear stories from our other guests on the show, come hang out with us on our website at successchampspodcast.com. I really appreciate you tuning in. If you need to reach out to me for any reason, you can catch me at Donnie@DonnieBoivin.com.